There is some history between these two sides. When you go back to 1986 with the hand of God, 1998, Beckham kicking out a Diego Simeone. 2002, he's got some redemption, obviously.
That was in the group stage as well, wasn't it?
That was in the group stage, there was a penalty. But now they meet again. And I do have to say that Lionel Messi has never beaten England. He's also never faced England.
Never played them, yes.
So there's that. What are we looking at here, Baka?
Yeah, well, England are favourites, aren't they? And I think rightly so. But they need to be better. As I said, Argentina have shown signs of vulnerability, I think, the way they play. And they're reliant on one man. And I think, as Nathan rightly said, and we said before, down the sides, I think they're vulnerable. But England have to go out and try and do what they need to do and get the goals. They'll see vulnerability in England, the way they've played as well, and trying to exploit that. But when I look at the two the list of the 2-11 who will play, I'll always fancy England when I see Messi in there with Rodrigo de Paul and Romero and people like that. I'll always fancy England, particularly at this tournament. I just feel that 4 years ago they were amazing, Argentina, but they virtually got a lot of the same players. They're 4 years older. They're not playing in the leagues that you should be accustomed to, and I think England could find them out. I really do.
Why is it hard then for an England fan to believe that they're favourites against the defending world champions Argentina?
Because you said 98, you said whatever, like 86. There's a lot of trauma. The older you are, the more trauma you felt. But I think from
You're saying I'm old, Nathan.
I said the older you are. I didn't say you.
Don't worry, I played in some of those games you mentioned.
But I think the most important thing, in my mind, from an England perspective, for those guys who were playing, most of them weren't even alive to even acknowledge some of those moments. I was born in '86. I don't remember that game. I'm 4 years old. But these guys here, you're looking at Jude Bellingham. He's 23 years of age. He's born after the year 2000. Do you think he's as bothered about how that felt in '98 to see the stress, the trauma, and all that stuff? Absolutely not. So I think from an England fan's perspective, you don't get a chance to play against some of these South American sides very often, not least of all Argentina. I think the last time they played was 2005 or 6, bizarrely in a friendly in Switzerland or something, which England won, by the way, but it doesn't need to get mentioned too much. So there's no real history there between these bunch of players. The fact that Messi's playing against England for the first time, the fact these England players are playing against Argentina for the most part for the first time, that puts the history in the background, and the history matters more to, say, some of the England fans, some of the Argentinian fans, but also, if you want to get really political, Falkland Islands and stuff like this, there's a lot to this game of football, but more so and differently for the fans compared to the players.
Yeah, all in history. And so it is Lionel Messi taking on England for the first time, especially when it comes to World Cup competition as well. And this is what he has had to say about it. Everything I've seen and remember is from videos and images that Argentinians constantly watch and relive. Personally, it's the first time I'm going to play against England, so it will be nice for that reason too. And we'll experience it for what it is, a World Cup semi-final against a powerhouse, a great team, and we'll try to arrive in the best possible shape to compete again. Oh, how do you see it, Jürgen, with what you've seen so far from both of these teams?
Well, it will be, as I said, it will be a nail-biter. It will be a 50-50 situation. But I think England has matured, and has matured in this tournament, but also over the last few years. I think they have the capabilities to beat that Argentinian team, which will be very resilient, which will be very tough, will be feisty. They will play it all. They will play the emotional side of the game. They will provoke you. They will be complaining. They will be doing so many tricks that it's just in their system. And obviously they have a certain Leo Messi that can hurt you in a split second. But these are the moments you live for and you die for. I mean, this is now. It's about time. It's about time for that English side to prove their point and to step it up. And I thought what I saw so far in the tournament, the Hurricanes and the Jude Bellingham, they stepped it up. So they need to be confident. They need to be purely focused on their own performance, which they will be. And then obviously this stadium will rock. The English fans in Miami, they were unbelievable. I mean, the atmosphere was also with the Norwegians as well. And now they're dreaming big, and they have all the rights in the world to dream big. They are maybe 120 minutes plus penalty shootouts or whatever away from a World Cup final. So there's nothing kind of motivational to say for a coach before the next two games. You just let them out there and experience it.
Stevie, what do England have to get right here against Argentina?
I think they have to get their service right in the final third. I think they will have more of the ball, and there's no question. We've been talking about how narrow Argentina seem to be. Well, Thomas Tuchel set this team up to get the ball to the wide players, so it's going to be on them. If they can deliver their crosses or pick out passes, as Gordon did for Bellingham yesterday, then Argentina's going to struggle. But you got to remember, it's Argentina we're talking about, and they've struggled in a lot of the games in this tournament, but here they are in the semi-final. So on paper, fortunately, the games are not played on paper, because on paper, I think England are clear favourites, but it's Argentina, so beware.
See, he brings everybody right back down. There's just a few little comments from Stevie there. So it is England against Argentina in one of the semi-finals. In the other semi-final, we'll be seeing France taking on Spain. That's the other side of the bracket, and they've got recent history as well. Much of it coming in the Nations League back in 2025. The two sides faced in a semi-final there. That finished in Spain's favour. We saw them face off in a Euro semi-final as well, and that was Spain 2-1 against France. When you look at the odds to win it, it is France who are favourites coming into this, but they've been swapping who's favourites to win the whole thing throughout the tournament. Remember, Spain came into it as favourites, then they had that rough start that they had, and then France took over as favourites there. But who have you got on this one, Jürgen?
Well, I was at the game France against Morocco, and already, I mean, it was not the best day for Morocco. They didn't really believe in hurting France in any way. They were very defensive minded. They didn't create any chance. I think the shot on goal they had, or towards the goal, was in the 86th minute by Morocco. And France was in complete control. I mean, in complete control. It was fascinating to watch their front players changing positions, moving constantly, creating chance after chance. And it was just a question of time until the goals were coming. Mbappé is there. I mean, he's in the middle of the tournament. He's one of the superstars of the tournaments, but he's not the only one in his own French team. You know, I mean, when you see, obviously Argentina, we talk all about Messi. Right now, we talk about Jude Bellingham and obviously Kane. But with France, we're talking about four up front that can kill you in any moment of the game. So it is a fascinating side, this French side. They seem to get along really well. The chemistry is right there. They all know that Didier Deschamps will step down after the World Cup. They want to give him the best gift ever, you know, to finish off, you know, with a World Cup trophy again. I think, you know, they have so far the most impressive run in the entire tournament. But Spain is Spain. I mean, we know it's full of quality themselves, fantastic players. Started a bit slow, but now they are there. And these two teams, they have their own history. But I would, if I was personally looking at it, I would favour France for that match.
You too, Maka?
Yes. When I see the two teams, I'm with Jürgen. I think France are too good up top. I think they'll make more chances. I can't wait to watch the game, because you think that Spain may dominate the ball, particularly in the centre of the park. We'll wait and see who plays with Rodri, whether it's Fabian Ruiz or whether it's Pedri. But if they turn the ball over in that position, and those from forward of France are running at the likes of Pedro Porro and Pau Cubarsí and Juan Laporte, I can't see them not scoring. I can see them scoring goals. I think Spain are going to need a massive performance from somebody, whether it's Lamine, whether it's Oyarzabal or whether it's Alex Baena. I don't think you'll get it from them. So it'll have to be someone like Lamine Yamal, who has the performance of a lifetime, I think, to drag them forward. But when I look at the both respective teams, if it's the 11 that we think it's going to be, I can see Spain scoring 2 or 3 against. I can see France scoring 2 or 3 against Spain, and I don't know whether Spain have got the capacity to score more than 3. I know they had that 5-4 in the Nations League, that didn't count, but France really excite me the way they play, and the transition. If Spain lose the ball high up, they won't be able to stop them. There's too much pace in the team.
Yeah, there's been so much talk about everything that we've been seeing in the World Cup, so we'll be keeping up to date with that. We'll say goodbye to Jürgen. Thank you so much for being with us, Jürgen. We'll hear from you again very soon.
Nice to see you, Jürgen.